All right. And here we go. Drips in the office, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. I feel like it's appropriate to at least partially steal a quote from one of the great philosophers of our generation,
I
Mr.
already know where
Jack
this is going.
Coleman.
Oh, no.
My brothers and sisters, we are happy to be back. Pat and John back together again. Fresh off a Ted Sarandis sponsored victory over the good old boys from the state of Maine.
Huge win. And girls. I think Lauren Lund was on that list. And
That
that's
is very
that's
true.
that's a testament to you and I and what we can do if we work together. Because we had the 9/11 Whisperer and
That's right.
Kane also on our team. So I'm assuming those two are not the most popular figures. That probably
Kane,
brought us
Kane,
down.
Kane was the wagon. I think Kane was the absolute wagon on that one.
He could have been. He could have been. That's right. You
Now
guys did have a great
let's not
episode the other
forget,
night.
even though that was a Ted Sarandis poll, like all things, it was actually presented by Chris Clemmer. Um, Today we'll be talking Pat back to work. We'll do a quick Sako recap, some sales on the road stuff, maybe even discussing an old flame. we shall we shall see. Pat, we missed you, buddy. How you been? How's work? What's going on?
God strike me down if I'm lying, but I've never been better, John. Thank you. How are you? How are you? I'm glad you asked that. How are
I'm
you?
doing good. I think therapist Eric is doing you well. Whatever
Home run.
pills he's got you on, you're doing things are going well.
The psych ward has me on the pills, but therapist get involved with the pills. But I'll tell you something. If we want to touch on therapist Eric right away, he was overcome with joy during our last session. He is so happy with the progress that I've made.
Turning
Um,
corners.
he he was blown away. Brought out the smiley face sponge. Things are going very well in that regard. Back to work, absolutely crushing it. But the best part about being back to work, like I told you, like I sent you, was people that I work with still think that I'm like fresh out of a straitjacket.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the kid gloves I've been treated with like unbelievable. Like people will walk up to you and it's their head immediately
Right.
turns,
Yeah.
and
You
all
ever
the
see
women.
the movie Along Came Polly?
Yes, I've never seen it, but I know it.
He gets cheated on his honeymoon, and when he
Oh,
comes back to work, he doesn't know that the entire office knows that it happened. So like as soon as he walks in, everyone is like, I'm assuming that's how you're being treated at work.
could I could I give you a hug? Can I
Yeah,
give you a hug?
exactly. Yeah.
How's everything with you? Let's not talk about work right now. How's everything with you? Ah, and I play into it too. Like look, every day is a journey. Every day
Now
is
the,
a journey,
the
but I'm
question
doing
is
well.
though, how long will you enjoy that before you want to shoot yourself in the head?
Well, there's a chance I do shoot myself in the head just with historics of being insane. I don't know. I think I could do this forever.
I probably could too.
th- listen. I don't want to even joke about this because obviously I've gone through some things, and I'm like therapist Eric says, I'm healed, and like hopefully no one I work with listen to. But maybe I just go nuts again in a few months, but like not really go nuts. Like tell a couple people on the inside, like, listen, I'm gonna flip an easel. Like we're gonna be in the middle of a meeting, and I'm just gonna scream the C word and punch the wall, and then walk out, and then like come back 3 days later, healed. People will be like, "Oh, he's back. Like let's talk to him again like this." I love it.
The
Everyone should go nuts.
the big thing I took away from that was, do you stand in front of an easel like Don Draper and Mad Men and give presentations?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm there we go.
Let's
I
hear
am
it.
of I am of the written form. I work better, and we figured this out with therapist Eric, because a lot of the times I was relying on the schedule of my Outlook. Don't like that. That just didn't work for me. So I hand express, and when I'm up there in a meeting, I love to write something down, and then I love to smack the board with the marker.
Oh yeah, it makes a good sound. What
Oh,
about do you have a marker in hand? Because I feel like if you write something and if you just write across like underlined it, that might be huge.
thank you. It doesn't matter what you write. As long as you're squiggling a little bit
Yeah.
here and there,
Yeah.
people are like, all right, yeah, he knows his shit. It's all
What
about
about one of those
perception.
long pointy things?
No, let's not be foolish.
That's sorry. Yeah, we'll save that for the Potters. And
No, but that would be sick. I should get one of those. I have a back scratcher I could use.
Well, if it's paper, if you hit it with the wooden thing and it makes the sound, that
I have an easel. I have an easel with a white piece of paper that I can flip over if I'm going. And then we have the whole whiteboard. So I kind of have the best of both worlds.
I bet when you're really in the zone, you flip that thing so well. Like it's smooth flip. There's no entanglement with the paper. Nothing gets ruffled. Like if you're great segue, Chevy Peters. What is this? Petersburg in the chat. Presentation Pat. If you're in full presentation Pat mode, I bet you are flipping that bad boy smooth as a mother.
We put together a proposal while I listen to this. This is how back I am. We put together a proposal for a major portfolio. I didn't do the proposal because I was out on baby crazy time. They call us like my first week back, and they're like, "We want you to cut Brazy." Ooh, that goes Brazy. We want you guys to do a presentation for us to further on your proposal. I didn't write this proposal. I had nothing to do with it. I walked in that motherfucker with an Indochino suit on that had skulls on the inside with my initials. Didn't even say anything when I walked in. Each person got a business card, and then it was hello. I was fucking cooking.
Did you sneaky let someone get a peek of that skull? Like not on purpose, but like a little, like maybe you kind of, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you have to do that. No tie either. Oh my God. I was like a goddamn snack. I felt so back, but I've gotten fatter. I've noticed. We can get to that at a later point. I feel like this has been very me dominated. I want to move on.
A lot of people saying you look healthy in the chat. So now
I've been seeing that. Thank you.
Now again, in the Victorian age, healthy did mean a little on the huskier side. We're not going to get into that now. It's an hour-long episode, but
people find creative ways to take jabs at me, or what is it called? Jab at. Regardless, if that's what they mean, great. If that's not what they mean, and I look healthy, great. Like I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
You look like you might have a fresh shave going on. I don't know if that's attributing to anything.
I cut myself shaving the other day. I stink at shaving because I have a fat neck, as you can see, and like the razor will just get into little ridges. And the blood fest.
Now, what were the Sunday scaries like before the first day back to work, though? Like, I know work's going good, and that's a good thing. But I'm saying that night before, you must have been feeling something.
No, me and Eric practiced. Me and Eric worked on this one. The Sunday scary leading into it. We had roadmap this one in session number 2, my friend. What we did was we put the kids to bed. We took a deep breath. We did some breathing exercises. Do you want to do them with me?
Yeah, let's go.
So as you breathe in, I want you, we'll just use the fists. You can use every body part if you'd like. But as you breathe in, deep breath for 10 seconds, I want you to squeeze your fists into a ball so they're at their fullest once you reach 10. So go.
All right, hold on, let me start over.
And then once you're done, hold it for 2 seconds. Exhale and release your hands. You'll let all the stress go. So build that stress up. 3, 2, 1. All gone.
Wow.
And now we begin. And then I sat on my couch and I roadmapped my week. I put down locations, things to do. And I where I was going to be. And I walked into Monday morning like I was the belle of the ball. So shout out Eric. Otherwise, I probably would have just ate a couple of gummies and like freaked out. So
that's the move.
Shout out Eric.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. I do this thing where I will start breathing. By the way, after that, I already felt like I'm going to crush lunch tomorrow. I'm going to get the order right. I'm going to order something for myself. It's not going to be stolen from me. We're going to get orders out of it. You know, these things are cyclical. I don't know if that's the right word. It sounded great.
I like that word.
What was I going to say? Now I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, but if we're going to talk lunch, you mind if I grab the wheel for a second?
Steer away.
So nice.
Hold on, let me have the passenger seat.
Breathing exercises are great, but where's the best smash burger in Barrington? Roscoe,
great question.
Let me tell you something. You're going to want to go from Barrington right over to Warren, not because I'm biased, but because Chomp has a fantastic smash burger. Sure, it's $19, but it's a great smash burger. Fucking delicious. So I go to get this same old story with me. So this place, they said, do you want to do a lunch meeting? Sure, it's the only way I can get in front of these fucking doctors. They tell me what they want like 2 hours beforehand, and it's some Jamaican place. I'm like, sure, whatever, sounds good. We're talking. This was in the hood, my friend. They sent me to a sketchy area.
Careful.
I know, but I'm just saying. And there's a reason I think I'm allowed to say this. It's going to come back around.
Okay. You don't
by the way,
it's not going to be you have a friend, right? Don't go down that road.
No. I have several.
Oh, cool.
The people in there end up being fantastic, the whole thing, whatever. But it was just, you're kind of in this neighborhood and you're like, what the hell's going on over here? I get there and I get back to the doctor's office. I deliver the lunch. One of the first things the girl says to me was, were you scared in that neighborhood?
Turf.
So then I was like, no, oh, what are you, crazy? This is I know those guys. I know those guys real well.
I would have. Did you use the line, the Jamaican me something rather?
No, but I did do the whole thing like, oh, I'm going back to Jamaica this April, as a matter of fact.
Oh, fuck yeah. Congratulations on the trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they have plantains? Is that a Jamaican food?
Yeah. And actually, I had Bajas the other day, and I put plantains in my bowl. I can't remember if I mentioned that with the great Kane, the content creator Kane, they call him.
Kane's Corner with a K. What a show.
That's right. That is right.
Next week he's having a racist on. That's the Kane we like. That's the Kane, the fun, let's talk some restaurants. The Kane that drives me crazy, I know you're in the chat, Kane, is the I'm gonna fight everybody on Twitter. Even though I kind of like that Kane too. But just be a nice guy. Talk to your racist buddy, and I'm excited to see junkie racist. Pardon me. Yes. He shot up heroin too as well. So yes, junkie racist buddy.
Which never mind. I was gonna say, is being a junkie, does that absolve you of any racist behavior, or does that just add on?
Thank you. Bank robber. Fun fact, if you play the clip of him saying that at double speed, racist sounds like rapist. So I'll be cutting that later, by the way.
I tried to cut it where it was him introducing me on the show I was on. So like him saying John and Warren and then cutting to him describing that person. And I was going to be like, oh, I can't believe Kane described me this way. Ha 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 ha. But I don't know how to cut anything. So I'll say on the work topic real quick. We're getting a little lucky here. And by we, I mean I, because I think I've mentioned this before, but in my industry, one of the products that we carry is also carried by the pharmacy, your CVS's, your Walgreens, whoever.
Rite Aid.
Right, sure. Right. Is Rite Aid still around?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Rite Aid.
I think it's it's probably like a Publix.
We used to
only
have
south
Rite
of the
Aids.
border.
I don't know if they have Rite Aids anymore. I think they're all Walgreens now.
Do they still have?
But in any event, so that's in some spaces that can be a direct competitor of ours.
Oh, they declared bankruptcy recently. But there's 1,300 locations remaining. How does that work?
We'll do a live show on all of them. By the way, the New Hampshire drop, that I like that. I like that a lot. A New Hampshire live show.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Very excited.
That's perfect. Although the numbers are showing the Rhode Island Min fans are thirsty for their own live show.
Should do a live show from Woonsocket. Everybody gets a needle.
Yeah. You've been working on that one?
No, I just thought of that. Brain's firing.
So this these CGMs that we sell, for whatever reason, the pharmacy can't get them. They're low inventory, must be an allocation situation, and guess who's got them? This guy's got them.
That guy.
So my phone is ringing off the hook. I'm answering calls. I'm talking to new people. Do I got it? Yeah, I got it. Do they want to upgrade from the 3 to the 3 Plus? Yeah, we upgrade them from the 3 to the 3 Plus. What's the difference? Well, it's a 15-day wear that turns into a 30-day supply. It's actually cheaper on my end, so everything works out. So yeah, things are going pretty.
Can you see that?
Swimmingly.
Can you see that over there? Because I can. That's the stars aligning over there, my friend.
They are aligning. That is.
Wow. Before we move forward, clinical grade respiratory CGM. or CGR?
Nope. You want to give it another go?
Is it CGR?
No.
CGM?
CGM. You'll never get it.
Clinician manufactured garments.
Nailed it. Continuous glucose monitor.
Dumb shot. I was going to get that.
Yeah.
Do you just answer your phone now? Like you're getting so many calls. Is it instead of hello, it's like you're like over the CGM?
Yeah.
That'd be sick. That was such a good line.
And they're like, no, I need a CPAP, you moron. Oh, shit. I already forgot what I was going to say. Oh, talk to me about Sako.
Hold on. This is very important.
Uh-oh.
No. This is make or break. Not make or break, but I want to make sure I get this one right. I will talk to you about Sako.
Oh, by the way, breaking news in the chat. We are finding out that Don the Jeweler is Jay. Glucose isn't real.
No. Oh, thank God. You were just joking. I would have thrown up. I talked to Don a lot. I like him a lot. That right there, my friend, was the verification for a new user sign in for my Disney Plus account. My wife's upstairs with the crying baby. She's being a trooper. She's been with her all day. She was fine with me doing drips. So I wanted to get her that code so we can work in unison. So I apologize for that.
Disney Plus, game changer. That's a great streaming service.
Oh God, yeah. Freaking Baby Muppets. That's the new move right now. We're absolutely murdering some of that. But you want to do a Sako update recap? Could I do one thing?
Yes.
Before, because Hoodie, I believe, based off Haverhill, it's Hoodie. His name in here is Dented Can in Haverhill.
Yes.
John, have you ever heard of the Game of Life? I was talking about this at Sako a lot.
The Game of Life is as a board game?
No. Here's the deal with the Game of Life. Anyone that's interested in playing, do you want to be in the Game of Life? Yes or no?
Yes.
You are in the Game of Life for the rest of your life, my friend. And let me show you how it works. This is a game we played in college, and we had about 20, 30 guys in it. It's a beer game. Granted, I'm a sober Sally, so I always I make out a lot better than others. And this is totally random. Whenever you open a beer can, and I do it with all of mine, you must dent your beer can. Okay? See how that's dented right there?
I do that to every single can that
you are gonna be a professional. So the Game of Life works like this. Now you're in the Game of Life, so you are in this till the day you die. You're in it for the rest of your life. Now, when my beer can, this is a brisk iced tea, is dented, and you don't think it's dented, and you say, "Hey Pat, Game of Life, chug." If it is not dented, I have to chug the remainder of my drink. But gotcha, it is dented. Now you have to chug the rest of yours.
Unfortunately, I would never have to chug.
I always dent.
I always dent. I think it contours to the tip. It's a little thumb rest area. I've even thought about developing my own can with a little grip where the dent would be. Just a little soft spot for the thumb. And again, push it in, tip it back. Everyone's happy.
Game over. So that's a Game of Life. You're in it for the remainder of your life. Congratulations. We have a couple messages in the private chat from John. There's a Rite Aid in Scranton. That's fantastic.
Of course there is.
Okay, so let's get right into Sako. Do you want to start with the lesbian wedding before that? If you have any good stories from
I couldn't make it to Sako because we had a lesbian wedding to attend to. I tried to finagle my way out of it. I couldn't. Now the thing is, we didn't go to like the ceremony, so I can't give you any details on how that works out.
Yeah, do they kiss with their like mouth, or do they scissor?
They're upside down, but I don't know the logistics. I overheard someone say someone was upside down.
Could be 69. Yeah, it could be 69.
We just went to the after thing, the reception. Sure. It was a backyard wedding. It was raining. Kind of felt bad that it was raining, but everything was under a tent. Little side note, it was in Somerset, I want to say.
I asked you this.
What did I say?
No.
Oh, yeah, it was. So you think,
if you're listening.
So you think Cinema Lord's girlfriend knows these people?
Correct. Her friends were also lesbians having a wedding on that day. Oh no, you were accurate. The wedding for her lesbian friends was a different day. So many lesbians.
Yeah, they're popping up. Now in the walking into this backyard, there was a what's it called? Harris Waltz sign, which again to be expected, whatever. Now the which doesn't
Oh,
upset. I don't
lesbians.
care.
Yes, yes, I
Yes,
get it. I get it.
right.
Hell yeah,
And
that
again,
definitely.
I don't really care. But how about this little feature to it though? This kind of made
This
me
is gonna grind my
cringe.
freaking gears. Go ahead.
It was Harris Waltz, and then under that it said obviously. You know what I mean?
That looks awful. Is he okay?
That's a contrarian take. He was getting some
Yep.
compliments
The
early in
rest
the
of the
show.
chat is saying that
Scroll
I look
up.
healthy. Yeah, scroll up, tiny
Scroll up.
man. Scroll up, tiny man. Yeah, no, the libs. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But whatever.
Oh,
Go
and
with thought.
yeah, us straights or breeders as they call us, we're certainly in the minority. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, bunch of carpet munchers. That's cool though.
Yeah, but otherwise it was great. It was fun. It was a good time. I mean, FOMO was outside. FOMO was out of control. I mean, I had you texting me. I had Sig talking about wanting to go to the bars. Freddie Lynn sent me a message, and all I really wanted to do, like maybe go up the night before, go to a bar, eat 10 wings, drink 15 beers, something casual.
Brisk. Dude, trust me, you missed a good time. You missed a good time. People were like passing out with excitement. Way too soon for that one.
Yeah.
We'll
So
back
you were
it
right
up.
next to this guy, huh?
He landed next to my foot. You want to go right into that right away? Let's go right into that right away.
Well, can I say one thing before you get into that?
Of course you can.
This is turning into like Mama K's 9/11 story though. Everybody was right there. Everyone had a good angle of it. Everyone called 911. So sure, tell me your version of this story. I'm sure it's true.
First show in like 3 weeks. You don't have to be like this. And the guy was standing right next to me. I didn't really realize who he was or nothing was out of the ordinary. And then I thought a lawn chair fell, but then I heard his head smash. It was literally 5 feet to the right of me. And what I realized during this, for one, hope the guy's okay. Heard he's doing all right. For two, I'm terrible in those situations because everybody runs over. One guy, excuse me, I'm a doctor. Excuse me, I'm a nurse. Another guy was a firefighter. But then everyone, and maybe, listen.
Our nurse barber friend wasn't there, was he?
No, he was at a bachelor party. Listen, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I don't drink. I'm sober, but I'm California sober. I took a puff of the joint, so I was.
I would have loved to see that.
Yeah. So
what do you think? You could decline if you want, but are you at liberty to name names on who was passing this joint around?
Hell yeah, it was a hell of a crew. It was me, Cinema Lords.
Huge. Love that out of him.
Mrs. Cinema Lords, who's a great gal. Dylan the Birdman.
Oh yeah. Huh? Okay.
Imagine if their employers are listening to this and they like lose their job from it. That would suck. But these are all made up nicknames, and Tim Riggles jumped in at the end.
Makes sense. That actually makes a ton of sense, I think.
Yeah. So it was great. But anyway, going back to that. So I'm sitting up there just enjoying myself. I ate a bunch of Ruffles chips. Like I was in a good place. And I think it was the weed, but everyone who was down on the ground, I swear to God, at one point, turned and looked at me, and they were like, "You call 911." I swear to God, they were all just talking to me. And I'm like,
that might be the weed though. Like when you think everybody like you're paranoid.
It probably was, but what the fuck would I have done in that situation? Like, so I did the whole like pull my phone up and scan the room. And like I was like, I'm gonna have to do this, and I wouldn't have known where to send them. I would have been like, we're at a drive-in movie theater, whatever. They could track my location. But then luckily, some Sheila, like over yonder, was like, I'm calling them right now. I'm calling them right now. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I want that responsibility to be like the one to call 911. Like, look at Roscoe in the chat. He goes, call 911. It's like, dude, you think it's that easy? Come on, buddy.
It's not. I could have called 411, but I was with Montante for most of the night. He just walked away. And
he went to the back to go start telling jokes to Justin. We had a guy.
I've heard that guy is okay.
I don't know if I told this story before, but we had a guy who came back when I worked in the office. he was a patient. He came in with his wife, and I did tell you the story. He like had a stroke or something like right in our lobby, and I had to be the one to call 911. And I think it was the first time I ever dialed 911. And I said to the person on the phone, they're like, "How's he doing?" He was like not dead, and he was sort of awake, but he wasn't like answering his wife. Like she was talking to him, and he was kind of just like looking at her.
Lights are
So
on, but no one's home.
I go, he's unresponsive. But I think when you say unresponsive, that means something else in their world. So,
That means dead. Yeah.
so they're like, he's unresponsive, and I was like, well, he's not saying anything. But,
he's not talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was wild. That was a wild scene. I was very close to it prior to Contrary Belief. But no, Sako was fantastic. I had a
How
great time.
long was that whole ordeal before they got back on the mics?
Probably like a half an hour.
Oh, okay. And now, did the guys like clear the stage and everything? Like Justin, Dave, and Kirk?
Yep. They cleared the stage, and everybody kind of hovered around, but didn't. And other people started coming over. It was a wild scene. I don't do well in those situations, and not good. Hopefully, he's okay. Be great.
Something I have been dying to ask you actually. What did you think of the parking lot of Sako? And if you were in charge of it, what would you do?
They did an unbelievable job. Like the other one had a lot of dirt patches. This parking lot was paved within the last 2 years and probably striped within the last 6 months. It was clean. It was succinct. There was no cracks. There was no grass growing through. I was happy with it. But they did the right thing where you pulled in and you pulled in the middle. Like there were the dual spots, and you pulled right in the middle, so you had the front and the back. Such a classy gesture.
Are they doing everything in-house, or are they outsourcing any help from folks like you? I know not your company, but maybe a competitor.
They had a couple of people like verifying tickets, but that was it. I think they always worked there.
Okay.
I should have dropped the business card.
I was going to say, were you prospecting at all?
I should have. I know, I was in the zone. I was fraternizing with friends.
Good for you. It seemed like a good time. Packed house?
Packed house. Very packed house. It was a great show. There was a lot of people there. Do you want to go through kind of the notes of the highlights?
Yeah, but real quick on the packed house note, Menners, shout out to Menners in the chat. He said something on the Aussie Minifan show. I believe this is where he said it, unless he said it on the King's Corner. I can't remember. But Aussie Minifan show was actually a great watch.
I like it. Yeah.
He brought up Sneaks, and he was kind of saying, like, at this point, Sneaks has turned into a one-trick pony. And, like, I think he was even saying, if you want to be a hater, that's fine, which I totally agree with. But you can't keep going with the same tactic. And it made me think of, a lot of times Sneaks is like, no one's going to show up. There's no promotion for this. This is going to be a dead show. And now you and others that were there were like, place was packed, fun show, everyone had a good time. So it's like, if you keep beating that drum and you're wrong time and time again, like Portland, sooner or later, you got to do an audible and, I don't know, maybe put the hate elsewhere or come up with a different shtick. I don't know.
Listen, preaching to the choir, brother. I respect the hate. I don't understand it, but I respect it. But yeah, you can't be wrong. You got to be right if you hate. You got to be right.
Yeah, because if you're right, it hits.
Correct. Oh, if there was 6 people there, he's cock of the walk. But
if there was 6 people there, I'd be begging to join the Fonz League.
Would you?
No, I don't even know what. I don't have like a video game system or anything, so I don't know.
I set up my Xbox. But yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. And that's, Manners is a miniature Sneak, so that works. Show Ada.
I can. Here's my best Manners impression. Whenever someone asks a question, whether it's good or not, he likes to respond with "good question." And that's as far as
yes.
Good question.
Good question.
Anyway, yeah, let's hit the highlights, and then we'll get into some other stuff.
So I have 2 Montante stories. The first one I tweeted out, but we were in the bathroom. Some guy was in the stall. I guess the door wasn't closed all the way. Mike walked in. The man was sitting down urinating. So Montante went on a rant about, fucking pussies sit down to pee. Who the fuck sits down to pee? Out of the handicap stall rolls Ted Sellers. That's unbelievable moment. That's perfect. And Mike afterwards was like, he's like, yeah, I saw his dad outside. I knew he was in there, so I was just cracking a joke. I was like, I don't know if that's true.
Did Sellers have like a little quip when he came out?
He was like, oh yeah, only pussies sit down to pee or something like that. And the other
Wait, so he
Montante
doesn't?
story,
He can just get off the chair. Like, with all due respect, he gets off the chair and onto the toilet and back.
I would imagine. He has strong arms, so I'm
Yeah,
assuming he can just pop himself up and
true. Yeah, those long
I'll have
ass
to
arms are
ask.
strong as fuck.
It's a good question. The second Montante story was we were at Walgreens before, get some tweez for Daver, and the guy in front of us had a handle of like Jack Daniels, and
Mhm.
he had Coke Zero. And Montante said something about the handle, and he's like, basically, he was like, "Why the fuck are you drinking Coke Zero? Like, why wouldn't you drink Coke?"
He just can't help himself, huh?
And the guy's like, "I'm a diabetic."
Yeah. Oh, is he looking for a CGM or an insulin pump? I know a guy.
It's true. I should have plugged that. I only pull up my notes here, see what else I have. I think Sako shows are the best shows. They're very laid back. It's a
And I've
fun
never been to one.
atmosphere. Oh my goodness! Next year we'll carpool since we live
Absolutely.
close to each other.
Oh, did you go
Uh,
to? Did you see Steve's movie or no?
no,
Okay.
no. I would have liked to have. It seemed like a real hoot. And my next note is that Julie's a drunk.
Did you get to witness any of that? Oh no, because that was the night
No,
before.
but I heard stories about it. Her nips are out. Not like her
Wow.
nipples, not her nipples, but her. She puts bottles of booze in her bra. It's exciting.
Okay.
Yep.
Little double entendre there.
Stock up, Cinema's girlfriend. She's great. Ron's wife's very nice. Shout out Kevin from Bristol. Good for him. He's playing way above the rim. His wife's hot. Good for him. That's
I like Kevin
awesome.
for Bristol.
Very,
Was the hair
yeah.
dyed or not?
No, I don't think so. Silver
Okay, well,
Fox, I think.
hair was not dyed.
Alright,
Next note.
good to know. And the show, I thought the show was great too. It was.
I thought the show was funny.
Yeah, that was a funny show.
Yeah, it was a good show. Going back to the toilet situation, you talked about sitting down. I think I
Sure, of
texted you this
course.
recently. So you public bathrooms, you're not building a nest. You're just going ass to toilet seat.
Hell yeah, hell
Huh.
yeah. You
No,
build the nest.
I build a nest so big that Dylan the Birdman is looking for me up in a tree. Nailed it.
Crushed. Absolutely.
I literally set that up just to tell that joke. We can move on. Let me see.
No, but I like the thrill of public bathrooms.
It's certainly a thrill.
Like if there's urine on the toilet seat, sure, I'm not gonna plop down. Like I always inspect it beforehand. But if it's dry, it's dry. It is what it is. Like butt cheek to butt cheek. Now, if my crumb was on the seat and like then that would be an issue. That'd be a different story. But I feel like the part that's prone to infection is actually dangling above the water, so you're fine.
Right. I just don't love the idea of like some guy's piss soaking into my thigh. You know what I mean? And then I'm walking around with that all day.
That's probably a pretty good point. That makes sense.
Do
Yeah,
you
that's
wipe it down, or you're just going like you walk in, you sit down, and that's it?
if there's urine on the toilet seat, are you saying if there's urine or no?
That is a good question because I
If
guess
there's urine, I'm probably moving to the next stall. And
yeah.
then if there's urine there, I think I'd like to say that I build the tent. I'm pretty sure I'd just get a ball of toilet paper and wipe it off and then sit down.
Yeah. Gas station bathrooms are like it's.
Oh, I took a plop at 7-Eleven in Sako. My goodness, that was a hellhole. But I had
I'm
to
glad
go.
you said plop. That was always one of my dad's favorites.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I miss him so much. I'm kidding. He's doing just fine.
Jesus.
Hold on. We're gonna give some attention to the chat because I think there's some important stuff going on. Roscoe, number one, and this is I actually need to know the answer to this, and
Shout
many
out,
folks
Debbie.
who weren't able to make it to the show are probably wondering this as well. A big topic of discussion and a little bit of controversy as well. Did Cully need the winter hat? A, and B, was the pom pom on top of the hat A for men and B necessary?
He didn't need the winter hat. It's a hockey thing. Since he was a goalie for like 6 minutes, he is a big hockey guy. He doesn't need the sweatshirt in the studio sometimes when he wears it. He didn't need the hat, but I also don't think it was egregious. Like it wasn't warm by any means. If he wanted to wear the hat, I probably would have like been like, he doesn't need a hat. I didn't think it was a big deal. He was doing it for fashion. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
So was everyone outside?
Yes.
Okay. And you can
Some people watch from their cars.
And then what is the sound setup if
Shout
you're
out,
outside?
Debbie. You kind of circle the stage. And they play, and
Oh.
it pumps in from the speakers too.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
It was
Freddie
62
Lynn, who
degrees.
always comes
Yeah,
with facts, says 62
he's right.
degrees. Cully
He's
bits.
right.
Speaking of, real
I'm
quick,
excited for 3 Up, 3 Down with him and the Canester.
I caught like halfway through, so I watched the downs. A little preview is Freddie Lynn goes on an epic Steve from Gloucester rant, maybe even two. I think he somehow 2 out of his 3 downs were somehow Steve from Gloucester. But he was
Listen, Freddie, I respect Freddie, and the guy's going through something. There's really no need to kind of pile on like that.
and
That's me.
anyone who does.
Listen, I'm someone that has gone through it, and you think like I would, so I sympathize with that. So Freddie, that's not cool.
When you tweeted that 5-second clip, did you have any idea the shitstorm that was going to follow that?
9 seconds, and no, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought it would be like more like a haha, move on. But seemed to really upset Steve. So if he's listening, I'm sure he is not. But if he is listening,
I thought Pat
best
was
of
one
luck.
of the good guys. Turns out he's a Thiegel like everyone else.
No, what really pissed me off about the whole thing is he knew about this Pelletier comment 6 months ago. He knew about it. This whole thing had transpired, but now is a good time to strike, and now is a good time to respond to everybody that's been giving you shit forever and being like, "He talked about my daughter." Like half these people you're going after, you're going crazy on. It's got nothing to do with your kid. Like, totally understand. Peltz is a creep. Like, that's not an easy kill if you want to go after Peltz. Like, for God's sakes, the guy's like 85 years old. Like, what are we doing? Like using somebody making a creepy comment towards your daughter is something more than that. Like, fuck off.
It didn't feel genuine. Like it felt like he was reacting for the sake of
Pissed him
reacting.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It almost seemed like he had to be convinced to be pissed off of it. That was the feeling that I got.
You can't do a show where your purpose of the show is to have people hate you and have people shit on you. Like, if that's not the case, you need to look inward and take a step back, because that show is just to piss people off. Like, maybe if Kirk comes on my show, like, Jesus Christ, like, stop arm waving like crazy. Like, we all do it. That's what this is, like, getting Kirk's attention a lot of the
You know,
time.
it'd be great though if
God's
Kirk went
sakes.
on his show and it was like every other consistency podcast where it wasn't video. It was just a picture of something. It was just Kirk and Stephen Gloucester talking, but they both had to be reading from scripts, and you could hear the paper turning a little bit.
They have to write each other's scripts.
Yeah. So speaking of producer bits, and then kind of segueing off Benner's comment here, can you guys do a food eating challenge? So I want to talk about the producers' content during this week hiatus. Getting a lot of negative feedback, which I get what they're saying, but content is better than no content. And it's, as far as like the workout video, that's something, it seemed like he was trying something different, a little bit of like cheesy production value. I thought, like, on purpose cheesy. I thought that was hilarious. And then of course the food thing today, which I'll admit I didn't watch, because as soon as I saw the throw up screenshot, I just can't do it.
I loved it. It was so funny. I love that shit. Even though puke and blood usually gross me out, but it didn't gross me out. But I don't know. It's the same thing. If they did nothing, then people would shit on them for doing nothing. They're looking for them to do good content. What can they? I mean, they're coming up with creative ideas. I don't hate it. It probably hasn't been the best, like puking into a bucket for me. I find it funny, but people don't. But at least they're doing shit. Like every other show in the world, if the host went to Surviving Barstool for a week, they're not doing shit. Like, I don't think PMT. I don't. I probably don't know that, but at least they're doing something for us to watch something. Because otherwise, I'm just trying to like figure out a way to get through Stuttering John's paywall now, because he put all the shows behind a payroll.
I'm surprised that Cullinane hasn't. So the stuff that he does outside of KMS, like I don't even know what you call it, the thing on like TikTok or Instagram where your face is like superimposed over stuff and you're like pointing at shit. Why doesn't he do that for like KMS stuff? Like he could have a KMS network show, like a Kane show or Menors Live or whatever, and he's in there being like, look at this fucking idiot, he's saying this. Or he could do it with tweets or maybe things that would be relevant in the KMS world if the show was going on. Like, you don't have Kirk there to talk about stuff, but if stuff happens in the world, like in the regular world that they would talk about, or maybe something happens at Barstool, superimpose yourself over it and do the thing that you've gotten views at. Like, go with what works.
I agree. I think that'd be good. But maybe he doesn't want to step on it. He's got a good thing going. He doesn't want to try to spoil it. Maybe he dilutes the product.
Yeah, I guess they're also probably like nervous to get shit on by Kirk, maybe. Although I feel like Kirk, when it comes to like doing content, he's so hands off. Like, do stuff, see if it works. I'll make fun of you for it, but
Yeah, no, I agree. I would actually like that idea a lot. Maybe he's listening.
which
Oh, that'd
who
be
Cully?
yeah. Maybe he'll do that.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's. Oh, I gotta go back to. I gotta go to a kid topic really quick because it's something I gotta
Sure.
get off my chest. There's a famous Jeff Goldblum line in Jurassic Park where he says, "Life will find a way." I feel that way about milk and sippy cups. I cannot find any sort of cup that milk does not find its way out of. This thing is, I've gone through them all, Pat, all the new technology. It either somehow something with like pressurizing or something will shoot to the top and come out of the straw, or it seeps out of like the screw top. But I've got milk everywhere.
Temperature will do that too. If you leave it in the car or something when it's hot, I've
Ideal
noticed the
gas
same.
law.
Is it?
I don't know.
That's fair. Um, yeah, I wish I had a suggestion for that because right now we're at the bottle phase where it's like supposed to just drip out while whatever. And then all my son's cups are like sippy cups, but I think they still kind of do leak. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be a project for the next week. Bring back your best cup next week.
Take a look and see if you find a leakage situation. Like I'll put it down on the counter. You lift it up and there's like a ring of milk there. I don't get it. I need Elon on it.
It's a good point. I'll tweet him. I tweet him sometimes. He hasn't gotten back to me yet.
I do like that. Oh, sticking on the kid topic, my wife had to. I was working from home on Monday, so she needed me to bring my youngest to his 15-month appointment.
Okay.
She specifically told me this is not an appointment where there'll be any shots, so it should be like a quick checkup, no big deal. Bring him home. We get there within like 30 seconds. They're like, okay, and you'll be having 2 shots today. It'll be 2 vaccines. And I haven't told them yet that I'm anti-vax. So that was a whole. So they did the.
You said you just got the Johnson & Johnson. It's only one.
Yeah, they did the chickenpox and then some other thing. And they're like, yeah, you might have like flu-like symptoms. And you might be cranky. I was like, what the fuck?
Fucking A. It's just pumping that's all the flu shot is. It's just pumping the flu into you. That's all the COVID shot was too.
Is it though? I thought.
I
let's
think
not
it
get
is.
into it. I don't know.
I never had a flu shot because it has raw egg extract in it.
That is true.
Fun fact of the day.
That is true.
I'm
I
allergic.
sometimes, every once in a while, I forget that you were one of those allergic kids.
Oh yeah, sat at the table by myself.
Yep. Oh, you did, right? With the peanut butter.
I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade. That's how I got my first girlfriend actually. The couple of the guys came over and they said that Brittany wants you to be her boyfriend, and I was over the moon. I was
That
like,
is
shit,
huge.
Brittany's a hot. So I said yes immediately. I think her conscience was like, oh god, like we totally like played a prank on this kid, and now he thinks we're dating. So we dated for like 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, the cool kids started to mingle around that table a little bit more, and they realized I was one of the cool kids.
There you
And then all
go.
of a sudden, the peanut-free table became the nerd-free table.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
That's a game changer. Oh, so that's a pretty good segue into my story. I got to tell you.
Go ahead.
My neighbors, they've got twins. I think they were turning like 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And they were having a birthday party, and my youngest was taking a nap. So my wife was like, "Why don't you go bring Thomas over there?" So
Little did she know.
We walked over and got there pretty early because we're literally right next door. People start showing up. Car pulls up. Little girl hops out, and the mom right behind her. And I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, "Oh no!" Like
Did you see the dump
walks.
truck?
No. She looks fine, but it was like, "Oh shit!" Like it's weird. That hasn't really happened to me a ton in my adult life, like being around my kids, and then all of a sudden, someone I used to canoodle with quite frequently shows up with their kid, and it's kind of like, do you hug? Do you say hi? Do you acknowledge each other at all?
What did you do? What did you do?
I went in for like the little side hug. How you doing? How's your mom? That whole thing.
How's your mom? What a
Yeah,
classic.
yeah.
It must have ended well.
Yeah, how's your mom? How's your stepdad? I tried to remember what I could.
Well, did it end well, like the relationship?
No.
Oh, okay. Good for you then, being the bigger man.
Yeah, I think that's probably better than the awkward like maybe standoff where you kind of like look and then you look away. Like
I
we're
go
at
for
this,
the
we're
standoff
gonna be at
most
this
of the
party
time,
for like an
yeah.
hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true. You got to at least be civil. My problem is, and you said that you haven't ran into that a lot.
Not a ton, no.
I can't even go to the grocery store without seeing
Oh, this guy.
some fine piece of. Just
Like,
kidding.
she's like, were you the kid from the peanut table?
All right. Post fourth grade. Yeah, no, that's a tough spot. You told your wife about it. No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, good call. No.
Yeah.
If
Wasn't
you're
really
listening,
worth
if
it,
you're
I think.
listening, this is a joke show. We make stories up from time to time. Gotcha, John.
Then my other neighbor, I came home from the fish fry, the lesbian wedding, the clam bake,
Sure.
and he's got this like little pop up, not tent because it's like a big. He fixes boats. How's your stepdad doing? Yeah, now that I see it in print, that sounds supposed to be like, yeah, he's fucking fine. He still hits me. He's got this like tent that he
Handy
builds
little
boats in.
fella.
And I saw the light was on, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." He's in there. He's always drinking beers, so I'm gonna go hang out with him for a little bit. I go over there. We similar to you at Sako, smoke a little ganja.
Hell
But
yeah.
the worst part of it all was when I went to say bye. We did the fuck up thing. He went for the thing. I went for this.
There were drugs involved.
And that's
So
what
that
I
can get
said.
confusing, yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm baked." And he was like, "Yeah, me too." And then I didn't sleep for 3 days, but other than that, it was totally fine.
Couldn't stop thinking about it. The old nice guy, Blind Owl, a hell of a guy. But when I met him at Sako, I went right in for the handshake. It went a lot better than I thought, but it was definitely something I regret.
You
He's
did that
blind.
with Stage 5 guy.
Yeah, I did do that with Stage 5 guy. He handled it well as well. Everybody's very understanding of my shortcomings mentally.
Yeah, I love that I got to witness that because that's not being exaggerated at all. You went up to
No.
him and you stuck your hand out to his poor hand.
And then he hit me with the old wraparound claw.
Yeah.
So that was
Which,
something.
listen, he's done it a million times.
I know. I shouldn't beat myself up over it. Marry, fuck, kill. McDonald's, Chinese food, Taco Bell. Marry Chinese food because I could probably eat that every night. Fuck McDonald's, and kill Taco Bell.
Unfortunately, I'd have to agree with you there. You got to, you got to marry the Chinese food. They're very obedient.
And new fortune cookie every day.
New fortune cookie, new variety.
Yes.
Like you can make that last a lot longer.
1,000%. Good storage.
Yeah, I mean, you could convince me to swap the fuck kill scenario between McDonald's and Taco Bell, just because like Taco Bell can almost be like a dirty little whore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can really bite you in the ass.
Yeah,
literally. Huh. If you had liquid poop, sometimes it's not good. Going back to KMS, I'm happy to see that Mick's somewhat back.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Seems like he's going to start, getting his foot back in the door a little bit. I did like the Dr. Frey shout out. That's going back to the well on that one, but that one hits.
He's back, baby. He's back. And then the other note that I have here that we didn't touch is Shanders is a cuck. I don't really need to go into it too much, but he's a cuck.
Do you think you'll make it to any of the Thursday nights at Mohegan Sun?
I would like to, and I would love for it to be the night where he's there so we could catch up. Because he's a humorless asshole.
I certainly would like to get there as well. Dude, well, hold on. I think I have a take. It's not going to come out coherently because I haven't really thought it out yet.
Sure.
Don't you think on some level, Mutt and who was calling him like Sanders? Sanders. I kind of love that. But between the two of them, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, it almost seemed like they were trying to address it. Like they did bring up the controversy, maybe the relationship between the both of them not going well. Mutt sort of called him out, not like directly. It seemed like two guys that wanted to bring it up on air, but didn't really know how to do it and sort of fumbled it a little bit. Like, I almost have to give him a half a credit for that. Maybe not Sanders, but Mutt.
I'll give Mutt the credit, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he took Kirk's advice because Kirk said on the show he's like, go in there and fight with him. And like Mutt started off kind of by like going at him in like a nicer way.
Yeah, it was kind of half-assed.
Shannon was just trying to be like, get that fucking mic out of the shot, blah blah. That guy just sucks on ice.
Yeah, that's I know. Every time he tries to be like a hard ass, he falls so flat. So flat.
So awful. But he's got 100. That's another thing I didn't understand. They tweeted that out from whatever the betting account was. Why is 143,000 such a big deal?
I don't know.
He has 143,000 subscribers, and they're like making a huge deal of it. Like even Muck congratulated him on it. It's kind of a random number. It's no different than 142,000. Did you throw a parade for that?
I didn't think about it that way, but that is true, factually and mathematically true as well.
There are probably 20 people listening to this, Max. Do what I did. When you watch this, I'm sure everyone's subscribed to Eton Chander's channel because that's what it's played on. When the episode is over and you're done watching on your Thursday, unsubscribe, and then you can resubscribe for the show.
Good advice.
Yes. Just to hurt Eton, not to hurt Mutt necessarily. I hope Mutt does well. Him and his boy
How did
Gronk.
your work etiquette training go today?
Oh my God, I'm so glad you got to that. What a fucking racket that was. It started off with harassment. They did a bunch of examples of what harassment was, all this stuff. And the one that was the thorn in my side was, this is Tomas. They call him Tomas. Tomas was born a male and likes to be identified as a female.
Was it a video you were watching?
No, it was like one woman, and we had to act it out. It's like I was Tomas.
No, you weren't.
Mm-hmm. We had to pair up in twos.
So you had to do that, and you had to say, "I'm Tomas."
And like the person I was with, no, like the person I was with used my wrong pronoun. So I flipped my shit.
I think you still have a little bit of the makeup on right now.
You're part of the problem. That's what we learned.
Yeah, that's true.
That's stereotyping. But my God, what a freaking racket! And then one of the guys was like, one of the old guys in the room. Why the fuck are they getting so mad about this shit? How the hell am I supposed to know? A lot of them saying that. A lot of them look just like whatever they're identifying as, or the opposite. Like, don't come at me if I make a mistake. And the presenter is like, okay, got it. Yeah, thanks, Dave.
And this presenter is not part of your organization. Like they brought her in.
She is. She flew in from Illinois, for Chicago. She flew in for this.
Corporate.
Yeah. Scheduled for 2 hours, took 3.
Because
I was cracking jokes the whole time. But yeah, that was such a racket. And like they did a classic, like Bob asks Sally out on a date. They work together. Sally says no. So Bob texts Sally every night at midnight for the next 3 weeks, asking her out repeatedly.
Sounds like Bob's a go-getter.
Is this harassment? I'm like, no, that's a follow-up. Like that's what we preach. So I didn't do well. I didn't do well. I got a lot of things wrong, but a lot to learn from it.
We had to do, I think every year we have to do them. And sometimes you have to do multiple because if you're a manager and you have employees in different states, each state has a different like harassment laws. So they have different classes or videos you have to watch. And I'll always remember there was one that I was watching. It was like a cartoon type thing where you just like hit next and like the next like 30-second cartoon would play. But there's a guy in a wheelchair and his coworker, they were at like the water cooler, and he was like, "Oh, Speedy Gonzalez, can you go grab me a water bottle?" I was like, oh, you didn't have to make it so hilarious. Like I would have gotten the point if
it's a pretty good one, to be honest. Yeah. Chevy, great point. Going back, only a few more weeks until the bomber starts giving some picks. Yeah, he's got to wait a few weeks to let everything resonate before he starts really
smart move, man.
the board. It's a genius. Move. Better than Chander's bum. dead pick Shanders. I think he did pretty well this week, which I'm not happy about.
Let me see if we got anything that we can round us out here.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same.
Oh yeah, you had the Gronk on there. I was like, I gasped
I was flabbergasted
when he poked his head into that. Like that was the last thing I would have expected.
Flabbergasted. And I have a new intern, nice kid, but he is the owner of the company's cousin.
Oh yeah, I did want to ask you about the intern thing. So do you now have two, or did one go to the wayside?
No, good kid. I'll miss that guy. He's passed.
Oh, there you go.
He
Just like my
passed
dad.
on to study abroad. So he's studying abroad at college now.
Is he actually? Where is he?
Germany.
Oh, good for him. Remember the intern I had?
Yeah.
I just like forgot or like didn't talk to him, and then they gave him to someone else.
Not a bad plan.
No, I was like, oh, I'm busy. I'm so busy.
Yeah. That's actually a good play. I don't want to do it with this guy. Like, and he's only here for like 3 months until he starts his job as a consultant. But
I mean, he's going to be your boss in no time.
check it out.
What is that?
My cat.
That's right, and that's one of 8.
One of
the fling of the cat.
Come here.
I'm worried about what's about to happen here.
I got this. This is one of my dogs.
All right, Gus.
You can go. You're dismissed.
Oh, what do you... I guess it was a very eventful coming home from that wedding the other night. We're turning down our street, and there was a dog with a collar running around the neighborhood. I jumped out, and I was like trying to call for it. I actually took some... I took some like deli sandwiches home from the wedding, so I was ripping meat out of the sandwiches. I was running down the street with like the bologna, being like, "Oh, come back!" I didn't catch it.
That's always been a weird dream of mine. It's like it's cruel, but people do it. So I'd like to be the guy on the other end. Like if I was driving down the street and I saw a box of, like I saw a cardboard box on the side of the road, and I went over there and it's like a bunch of puppies, like. Be heartbreaking, but it'd be like so sick to be like, I just saved like 10 dogs. Now I have 10 dogs.
Yeah. But are you getting out of the car like I did in that situation? Or are you going, oh, I hope he gets found?
I'm getting out of the car for sure.
Now,
especially if I have deli meat.
Yeah, exactly. I had the meat on me, as I usually do.
Hell yeah.
So then my wife ended up calling like the police station and told them there was a dog running around the neighborhood.
Hi, Sam. Did they ever catch the dog? Do you know?
I don't know. I want to know so bad. I wish there was a way to know. I was too busy in my neighbor's tent, smoking a bowl and not just giving a good handshake.
Turns out it was your neighbor's dog. It's just too high to realize it.
Exactly.
All right.
I think we're going into no man's land now.
I hear crying, so I'm gonna go play hero ball. So, John.
All right. Glad we got back together. Let's try to stay on a schedule. I will see you next week.
Adios, amigo.
All right. Bye.